Welcome to the Boundless Learning Co-Teaching video series. In this video, we'll hear from elementary co-teachers DeBazier and Pat as they describe their experience using Student Compass ClassView, and we'll get a first-hand look at one of their planning sessions. Teachers compile student needs on the ClassView spreadsheet using information from students' IEPs and from the selection of techniques and tools from the ClassView Instructional Strategies Bank. The Instructional Strategies Bank includes techniques that can be used for students with and without disabilities. Once completed, Student Compass ClassView gives teachers a comprehensive at-a-glance view that saves time during instructional planning.
As a general educator, in my mind, trying to understand what the IEP or the 504 was saying was totally different than what it really was saying, because I could, let's say, water my lesson down to see if I could fit their needs, and I was finding I wasn't doing anything. Pat would come back and say, no, try again. So
it didn't need to be watered, it just needed to be changed a little bit and put modifications in. So that's what we did. So this works too for special educators also, because it gives me a picture of, just on one sheet instead of having every IEP.
Oh, it's just all there on one sheet, and it makes planning easier. And then what I actually found was that this I need to do for my entire class, not just for those students that may have an IEP or a 504, but it's just easier. As a general educator, I feel that it's helped to educate me on the needs of IEP students, 504 students. It's educated me that I can understand what they need. I can understand this a lot better than I can 16 pages.
Right.
And it's also helping me to not only do it for those students, but for all of my students. Because if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, every student is different. And they may be a visual, they may need, verbatim, whatever it may be, but if I can accommodate all, then we have a healthier lesson. And to have a co-teacher in there is just fantastic, because
I just how they were at the beginning of the year, we did not know what we were going to do. And I look at now, after using all of this, the planning and all the behavior systems that we used, and they're actually learning. So this is really
I wish we had this at the beginning of the year, because this is a lot easier to hand out to any general educator than to give them. I have a 3-inch ring binder. This is a tool that is fantastic.
Okay, so for what are we doing for Monday then?
Monday we're going to be doing the Inside Earth, still continuing with that. They have a Chapter 1 project.
Right. So what we need to look at, make sure that we've got visuals for that for the instruction.
We have a PowerPoint presentation
so
that has that visual.
Right.
Then they're also going to do a lab on Monday, which is a hands-on activity.
Right.
Which will actually help them.
That'll be excellent, and do it in their teams.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And they'll hit all of the visual, the repetition of directions.
Yeah, well, they can do that within their teams too, because the others can repeat it for them.
Okay, either the coach or the facilitator.
Right.
Okay. Then for Tuesday, we are doing the Reading and Vocabulary Study Guide, the adapted version, which not only helps those on this matrix, but it also helps the rest of the class.
Absolutely.
And based off of what you said before, they're actually responding a lot better.
Oh, definitely, with that adapted version.
So we're going to toss the ball for a review.
Okay. We should do an oral review for that.
Yes, then we have a PowerPoint again.
And then
the class notes, which is driven from the PowerPoint presentation. Class notes and then class discussions. And again, we still have repetition of directions, verbatim reading. This is also
and here, as far as dictated response, when you have those notes, they only have to write one word, so that definitely hits upon there, and we don't necessarily have to do the whole dictation because they're not writing.
So we're going to have a 5-question quiz, okay, and we're going to base that off of the information that we've already gone over, so that it's nothing new for them to study, but it's the same exact thing.
Right.
And we're also going to do the video.
Right.
Remember we were talking about how the video
Right.
actually will help them, give them a little preview of it.
Right.
And then we go into the lesson and go back and can show the same video over.
Adapted reading study guide
Absolutely.
for
And
that.
do you know that since we went to the adapted reading that they're more eager to check their homework?
Exactly, because they're all doing their homework because they're able to do it now.
Absolutely.
So that helps.
And we decided not to use,
The
at first
exam view.
we said we were going to use the exam view, but we decided not to
Right.
because to base it off of the class notes,
Mhm.
and that goes back to the dictated response, and
Right.
it would be better.
Okay.
Thursday,
Thursday, we got the reading vocabulary and the study guide assessment.
yeah, for chapter 2.
Right.
And we then go into, which this is for social studies, United
Right.
States and Canada,
Canada.
that study guide, which I like that one too because it's,
Right.
you know, an abbreviated version of what the textbook is, and it's easier for them to follow. And it has the reading prompts all in the margin.
Right. So it's got that. Can that be completed within the teams? So
Absolutely.
that they can get support.
They're
from-
taking more ownership
Okay.
within the teams when
Right,
they do
so I
it that
think
way.
that, yeah, definitely. And the reading of the study guide.
Okay, and then Friday, we check off for the time for the
Time
chapter
limit.
project
Mhm.
because on the 31st, the projects are
It's
due.
due, right.
So, still going back to sketches, and this really helps out with those who don't
Right.
necessarily write well, but they
You've got
can
the drawing
illustrate
involved.
it, and
Absolutely.
it goes back to this where we hit upon everyone here,
Yeah, I'm just
that can
making sure
actually
we've
do.
hit on everything. We've got that.
and they can use their calculators when they have
Right.
to calculate the depth of the different layers.
Repetition of directions, remember, within the team to repeat too. We've got the visuals.
Yes, we do.
And then when we do the notes, we go ahead and do they
Verbatim.
stand up and do the reading so
Okay.
that they're hearing it as well as seeing it.
And
And then the notes
Yes.
helps with the dictated response. So I think we got it all in there.
absolutely.
Using ClassView, teachers like Pat and DeBajer can easily ensure that their weekly and daily lessons incorporate the accommodations and techniques that students need to be successful.